Welcome, guys, to another episode of the Levels podcast. Today's guest is Trent Bell. He's the owner, founder, and creative director at Last Night Media, which is a media agency based in Brisbane that helps brands grow through powerful video and photography campaigns. Trent, welcome.
Hey, Jacob, how you going?
Yeah, very well, mate. Very well. So for the people who might not know who you are, tell us a little bit about who Trent Bell is and what your childhood looked like and, led you to where you are now.
Awesome. Nothing to complain about in the childhood, pretty standard. Just from southeast Brisbane, Alex Hills, went to Alex Hills High, went to Alex Hills Primary. Now just living over at Stones Corner, working over at Stones Corner as well. Pretty much work mostly with brands and businesses around Brisbane and just a few a little bit out as well. Hopefully a lot more international soon. Yeah.
All right, that's a nice little summary, mate. Let's sort of turn the clock back a little bit. What was the first job that you ever had, and what were some lessons that you sort of could take from that and that you still apply today?
Yeah, so I guess I've sort of only had 3 jobs really in my whole life. So yeah, first, while at school was just working a hospo job, as everyone basically does and everyone should, learning to just deal with as much crap as possible. Yeah, so that was just at like an Italian restaurant, local Italian restaurant. Owners were pretty crazy, a lot of crazy customer interactions and running around. That was a nuts experience, or a lot of crazy stuff there.
Were you a server or
from
were
that?
you
Yeah,
working out the back?
oh, everything. You were making the pizzas, making shit, obviously starting doing dishes as you usually would, and then went to doing the waiting and doing the bartending and doing the cash register, and just you kind of become everything. And then from that chaos, I wanted a bit more stability within the realms that you can achieve when you're like just young trying to get jobs. So the smart thing I thought was getting a job at Woolworths. You imagine that would be a very stable sort of corporate business where they have a lot of procedures and you can, figure it out easy instead of just chaos. But so I went from that restaurant to Woolies just like part-time, and then when school finished I was just still at Woolworths for a little while, and then a lot more hours there. And then because the way Woolworths works, as soon as they see someone that's somewhat smart and works hard, they just instantly want to grab onto and keep you in the system for as long as possible. So very quickly started moving up positions within Woolworths, and they had this bit of a fantasy to keep me there. But obviously, who the hell wants to work for Woolworths for any length of time, really, especially like long term. So got out of there as quickly as possible, and moved into doing I guess part-time while still working at Woolworths. I was doing some like video jobs on the side, and then eventually that luckily became, I got so much work I was able to just leave Woolworths and just have been doing that since, just working on video productions the whole time now. And the transition period was I let them, I still worked there for like 6 months after I told my boss that I'm quitting, basically, because I didn't want to leave them, because it was a bit hard to find good managers there. So I didn't really want to leave all the staff that I had developed and worked with for ages. I didn't want to just go, okay, bye. Stayed around for another 6 months and just kept earning money from them, which was it was really good money, but very soul sucking, and working 12, 13 hours a day, not even eating lunch, having staff whinge at you, other managers whinge at you. So it was a good sort of crash course in people management, really. I was like 19, and had about a dozen staff under me or more at some point. So I was pretty lucky to have that kind of experience pretty early on, and hopefully it's helped me deal with people now.
Yeah, for sure. I think some of those big organizations, especially when you're young, are super helpful because it sort of gives you an idea of how a business at scale is run, the value of having processes and procedures in place. I remember, and the reason why I asked this question, I haven't spoken about this before, but the reason why I asked this question is because my first ever job was at Hungry Jack's. And I just remember it was an absolute slog. Like we used to work until 3 in the morning and like have to clean up the place afterwards. But it taught you the value of like a day's hard work and why they have all these procedures and policies in place. Because if they do, they can apply that across, 1,000 locations and every burger tastes the same. So I'm sure it'd be
And then
quite
also
the
there's
same
obviously a bit of a,
at Woolworths.
yeah, it's a bit of there's a bit of a flip side to that as well. Like there's just so many procedures and stupid stuff you're just wasting your time on. So yeah, you get to see a bit of both, which is yeah, super interesting and super valuable.
Yeah. So was the motivation or the moment that triggered you to say, nah, stuff it, I'm going to go out on my own. I'm going to start my own media agency. Was there like a specific moment where you were laying in bed one night and you're like, nah, fuck it, I'm going to go start my own thing? Or was it a gradual thing that you'd sort of been building up towards over a few years?
Uh, it sort of fell into it in a way, really. Like I had come more from the angle, like, when I was in school, I was like, the film class captain or whatever the hell it was called back then. You loved, yeah, I came from the film side of things, really, like really wanted to make movies. Didn't really know how that would happen. And, but then honestly think of it, or this, the type of doing video work for businesses and brands and all that stuff. I think of it like a nice, like the perfect mixture of like two things that I just really enjoy. I really enjoy business, enjoy like growing business, and that whole, like, you obviously treat that like a game. Really, you're trying to get uh, as many tokens as you can, and that's fun. And then yeah, the film world, like being creative, um, you know, using your creativity to persuade audiences and get their emotions going and all that sort of stuff. Like I love that, and obviously, using the cameras and camera work and creating storytelling like that. I just love both those things. So yeah, I honestly, when I was still at Woolworths, I didn't really know exactly how I was going to get into the film world. I think I kind of imagined I would make a bunch of money first and then, just use all my money to make a feature film and then get, really popular and famous off a crazy good feature film. Honest, I still will make a feature film, by the way, but that was kind of in my head what I imagined would happen. And yeah, and then obviously social media just started exploding around that time. Like, Facebook was around and Instagram was around, and you kind of realize, oh, you can actually do something really close to what you love, like making videos and filming and all those kind of really fun, cool things, and get paid to do it outside of making movies. So yeah, I just kind of naturally fell into doing some videos for some venues and events and nightclubs and stuff around Brisbane, and it just all of a sudden became like, oh my god, you can actually make a good income doing videos like this. And then as that kind of ramped up while I was still at Woolworths, I went, well, I can actually quit and sustain my life without having to be here anymore, so this is amazing. And then it just went from there. Then I worked solo for a little while, like just on my own, doing projects from start to finish, working with the clients from start to finish. Did that for a few years. Got a business partner for a few years. Then we split up, and he, wanted to focus on photography, which is fine. And then did solo again for a little bit, and then just went, why the hell am I doing this by myself? I should try to be growing it as an agency and not being like a solo business operator. And I've only really had the whole agency part for the last couple years, really, and it's been amazing, sort of combining, everything I kind of learned from my previous jobs with people management and using that in the video agency world. That's been extremely interesting. Yeah, it's been great. I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, for sure, mate. How have you found? Um, I don't think I was going to ask you this, but you sort of just touched on it there about team and managing people. How have you found doing that in your agency, going from a freelancer or a solo founder to now having to manage team and get them on board with the vision that you're trying to set?
Yeah, I did like a fair. It was pretty interesting. Like when I was still doing solo stuff, I would still work with other people in a subcontractor sense. So you'd be working with people on a job by job basis here and there, and that was obviously that is a quite a different relationship to working with someone on a very consistent, like employee style basis. So that, and then again, like it's totally different. Like obviously I was doing the employee sort of employer relationship at Woolies, but it's not really. Like you're not the employer, you're just some guy that is telling them what to do and they can't really get fired anyway because it's such a large business. You really have, yeah, it's a very strange sort of level of power you have as a Woolworths like manager. So yeah, it was very interesting going through that kind of interesting like relationship development from a team management point of view. But yeah, so it's been great so far. It's been, yeah, super interesting figuring out how much you let your team figure things out on their own and you kind of stand back and kind of see what they're capable of. And honestly, you know, at times you kind of do waste money by doing that. But I think that's a much better, you know, in doing those kinds of things sometimes is much more beneficial for the employee long term. So I'm really taking a good long term approach with our employees and yeah, trying to let them do their own thing as much as possible and not really babysitting or micromanaging. But you know, we also do work together a lot on stuff as well. Like it sometimes it doesn't really feel often like it's a boss employee relationship. It does, I know it probably sounds a bit lame, but it does feel a bit more like a team relationship because we are almost doing, like I'm almost doing the same job often that they're doing. You know, I'm not just sitting back and going, all right, you guys do this, you guys do that. We're very much like working on a lot of projects together. Obviously, you know, ideally soon or down the road, whenever it's appropriate to happen, I would like to take a bit of a step back, more so, and let a lot of jobs kind of happen without me needing to do much. That's a bit of the dream, but it's going to happen, and I look forward to, you know, seeing the team work a lot more on their own, and that's going to be really exciting. But yeah, it's been great so far. The guys have been progressing really well, and it's great seeing them work together, and it's great seeing how much they've just grown creatively over the last couple of years.
And in your space, when you're hiring someone, is it more about the results that they've gotten in the past for their clients or in their school or whatever it was, or is it more about I can see this person's creative potential? Or is it like a bit of a balance of both?
Yeah, exactly that. It's both. You know, no one in the price range that you want to get on is going to be have this incredibly amazing portfolio. Otherwise, they're going to be like, you know, it's, you know, not sustainable to have people in a crazy price range for you. But so yeah, you do have to do that. You know, have a good eye of trying to find people that have that good balance of, yeah, they look like, you can tell they get it, they get what's going on, they're a creative person, you can tell they're trying, and obviously that's based on just looking at their past work. Of course, we're not going to really get people on board that have no past work. Like they should be just, you know, working for free for someone and getting some portfolio projects on board before they work with an agency or other clients, really. But yeah, it's just, yeah, just being able to see that they can, you know, you can really tell that if with a bit of few tweaks and a bit of training, you know, in X, Y, and Z, you could see they could, you know, quite quickly get their skills up to a really good standard that you would consider like great for clients to see. And then, you know, and a lot of it, honestly, like with a lot of jobs, you just kind of have to roll the dice with some people and go, all right, let's just see, you know, I feel this person, you know, their portfolio is looking good. They're, you know, you have an interview or whatever, and they're like a great person and they seem very excited and dedicated and passionate to work with you. So that's great. And then obviously the next step is just rolling the dice, getting on board and going, all right, let's do a trial period, see how it goes, see if you like us, see if we like you. If it works out, it works out. Let's keep going. If it doesn't, that's whatever. That's life.
Yeah, sometimes you got to have those tough conversations. How and why can videography be so powerful in helping to grow a business, especially in 2022?
Yeah, that's such a. I always find that to be a very like odd question because it's like it's almost like saying how can showing people around the entire world through motion what your business does and what it can do, how can that benefit your business? It's like, well, it's pretty self-explanatory, isn't it? It's like if people can see your business in motion on video, of course that's going to get people more involved in your business. It's going to help them understand you. It's going to keep them literally engaged with looking at what you're doing. And what are the alternatives? If you're not showing your business and showing what you can do and showing what you can offer, showing what value you have, I don't know what the other alternatives are. Obviously, you could use photography, you could use billboards, you can do leaflet drops in mailboxes, you can obviously do things like Google ads and all that. But the best way to literally engage and communicate with anyone is other than in person. There's ways you can do marketing in person, of course, but it's a lot easier if you just film something and you can pump it out for eternity to hundreds of thousands of people, unless you have a lot of people on the ground and a lot of hours. It's just the most efficient and most powerful way to communicate, really. And luckily, that's the business that I'm in, and we get to take advantage of that extreme power of video and try and help businesses grow by showing off their business in the best way possible.
Yeah, it's funny, and the reason why I asked that question is because there's still, and this is probably like applying to my old life in the corporate world. Like, there's still a lot of people who think, putting a video content strategy together is a waste of money. Let's just get more salespeople, or let's just spend more money on Google Ads, or whatever the case may be. So, it's good to know that there's a lot more people like yourself out there who are pushing this message forward, because I think it's super important especially for startups as well, because if you're only got a small team, you need to be able to use media that can leverage your message to as many people as possible, right?
And it does it for you while you're sleeping and while you're on a day off. Your videos are still online, still discoverable. It's like just doing it for you. It's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think someone mentioned to me the other day, I was just having a chat about, LinkedIn and TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and all that, and YouTube. And the thing he said about YouTube is like, and some of the other platforms have this, but specifically YouTube is like the evergreen aspect, that it'll be there for eternity. So it's one thing people tend to forget. And like, some of these platforms are now turning into SEO machines, really. So you go and type in whatever it is, media companies in Brisbane, you could type that in YouTube, and hopefully Last Night Media comes up, right?
Yeah, it does. I was just checking out analytics. It does, all right.
Yeah, exactly. So again,
just in saying that though, like, it's not. Sorry, I was going to say, like, I'm not also saying like video is the the one thing you should be doing. Like, there's obviously you can do outbound reach out with salespeople. We actually do that a lot as well, our own outbound reach. But it's just, do you want something working for you while you're not at the phone? Yes or no? And if yes, then you should probably be investing in some kind of videos that can sit there and do it for you. But it's definitely not the one aspect of marketing you should only do. Obviously, you should be doing as many types of marketing as possible, really, if you have the time and money for it. But if you don't have so much of the time and money, it's probably a really great idea to at least get video in there to a large degree.
Yeah, well, it also helps with, let's just say you did some outbound work and you say, hey, I'm Trent from Last Night Media. We've got this agency that produces videos and photography. They might be like, oh, yeah, that's great. Can you show me some work? And if you don't have stuff online that they can then go look at, I mean, it's kind of pointless, right? They just got to take your word for it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, obviously, the video business is a bit funny. Where obviously you should have videos if you're claiming to be a video business. That'd be scary. That'd be scary if you didn't.
Yeah. So in regards to platforms, obviously now there's so many different platforms, right, and media channels that a business can distribute the content on, that video content. How would you recommend a small business nowadays to make the decision in regards to which one's right for my business? Because there's Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube, Pinterest. Like, what's the other one now? Be Real or something? I don't know if that's for business, but yeah, there's so many to choose from, right? So how does one make the decision on what to focus on?
Well, like, I don't really think like you need to really think about focusing on just one, because well, it's good to focus on one when you're doing the content creation, and you can angle that material to perform best on one channel. But you should, of course, always be syndicating whatever you're making to every single possible window that you can. Like, there's no harm in, and it's actually interesting, like, that you bring that up. Like, we see so often will like make videos for a business and they'll only just put it out on like Instagram, and you're like, what about your LinkedIn? What about your Facebook? What about your personal LinkedIn? What about your YouTube? Like, why aren't like the time that it takes to syndicate is so small compared to every other part of the production process. But yeah, in what you're saying, yeah, we definitely would recommend, you know, having a platform or two in mind for you to focus on, and obviously the platform that you should have in mind is the ones that are doing really well right now if you're smart. But yeah, you should definitely always be like syndicating to every single place possible, really.
Yeah, it's interesting you said about taking that one piece of content and then putting it across multiple. I was actually earlier today grabbing some stuff that I put on TikTok, and then I uploaded it to this remove TikTok watermark website. And then I've been putting it on YouTube for the YouTube channel for actually for this podcast, some shorts from some of the podcasts that we've already done, just as little teasers. But yeah, that took me like 2 minutes, just basically taking the link from TikTok, putting it into this website, to upload the video, take the watermark off, and then you just put it on YouTube Shorts, or you can put it on Instagram or wherever. So it's quite easy to do it now. You don't need to be like a technical whiz, which I'm definitely not. I mean, if I could do it, then anyone can.
Yeah, and I think it's just laziness, really. Like someone, they get that dopamine hit of I've posted and oh, I'm about to get attention coming through, and then that'll be enough, you know. But it's like, well, think about how many views and attention and then therefore money you're losing by not pushing a few more buttons and putting it out on YouTube and Facebook and blah blah blah. Yeah, it's just such a lost opportunity. And you know, even when you compare to, you know, whatever it was 25 years ago, where I don't know how people could have possibly got their business seen by people around the world for free. Like it's literally free advertising by, you know, spending an extra 2 minutes. It's kind of nuts to not syndicate every single thing you do.
I mean, 25 years ago, you literally would have had to do like a legitimate feature film, right? A full production with all these
Or a
different
TV
people.
commercial that
Yeah.
costs you a shitload of money to be ignored by people, and you can't track, and you probably can't even track how well that did, unless obviously unless you just like, you know, the week that that thing aired, you see an uptick, and you're like, all right, well, I guess that was from that thing that aired.
So TikTok, it's a bit of a beast at the moment. Sort of seems to be where all the attention is. Everyone's like, get on TikTok, get on TikTok. I know that our focus at Pickup is to, you know, try and break through and find and educate customers on that platform. Is there like a specific system that you guys use at Last Night Media to help with engagement and views and all that sort of stuff, or is it just a bunch of testing that you guys do until you find something that hits? Like, can you sort of talk us through what you guys do?
Yeah, like exactly as you said, like we would, you know, people, there's a million videos you can see on TikTok and everything that they say, you know, you use the first 3 seconds of this audio and then put your grandma's last name in the description and turn the video upside down 3 times. And that's the magic trick to going, you know, there's a lot of that kind of crap out there, but you just got to think of it. We just think of it in a very logical, like straightforward sense. You make material that you believe will do well, but of course, like based on, you know, trends and you know, your own creativity and what you think people might enjoy, and obviously you're filtering your creatives through, you know, some kind of aspect that makes people interested in the business. You're not necessarily just making creatives for creative's sake. Yeah, so we approach it to as just like, yeah, making as much content and variety of content as possible for, you know, the costs that you can take on for that particular project, and then just trying it and literally just letting the audience tell you what's working and then doubling down on what's working. I don't think there's any better way to do it. It'd be silly, first of all, just to make one video. Like that's kind of insane these days to just make one piece of content. You're kind of nuts if you're doing that. But then, yeah, make not only making different lengths of the videos, yeah, making different styles of the videos, shorter edits, longer edits, blah, blah. But then, yeah, of course, like the variety of the content itself is so important to, yeah, actually get a very large amount of feedback. But then, yeah, once you've seen something is doing well or leads to a lot of income for the business or downloads or whatever you're trying to get done, then, yeah, if once you've seen something working, go, all right, let's do that a bit more or a lot more, but also keep trying new ideas, because you also don't want to just get stuck on that thing that you believe is going to keep working and then just super zone in on that, because you might have missed the opportunity of finding a different type of piece of content that could do even better. So definitely a combination of large scale testing, variety of content, variety of styles, seeing what works, doubling down on what does work, but also keep that room for experimentation of new content. We like to do it, at least. And honestly, I think that's just the best. I can't think of a better, like, if anyone else, put in Jacob's comments if you can think of a better way to approach getting content that works. But that just seems to be the best way to us, and anyone we talk to, that just seems to be the best way to do it.
Yeah, it's funny because you watch TikTok, you can scroll through, and there can be a video that's got no captions, no text, nothing on it, and it's got like 4 million views. It's probably just because it's good content, right? And like people actually want to watch it, not because it's
Yeah,
got all
or
the
some
special sounds and the special
mystery.
music and all that.
Yeah, obviously those things like trends and all that stuff probably make it slightly more likely to get attention, but yeah, it's not the be all end all of your your strategy.
Yeah. How do you guys approach marketing for your agency, and like how do you go about sourcing new clients?
So yeah, I guess we split our agency into three kind of areas right now. Like we are doing, of course, like the pro video content, super professional. We use great cameras. It looks amazing. We just call that like the hero branding material. That's the evergreen stuff that sits on the website forever. Looks amazing. It just really represents your brand incredibly well for a long time. Then, of course, we're doing like more like the organic content packages, like TikTok content packages. That's definitely the way to go right now, is offering the TikTok content packages. But then we're also doing courses as well. So I don't even think we've spoken about this before, but we're doing right now like an iPhone course, or how to, an iPhone content creator course. But I'm assuming you're probably asking more about like the packages and the pro video content. So we, of course, do the things that we recommend people to do. Otherwise, we'd be a little bit hypocritical. So we're trying to pump out as much content as possible, organically content as possible, as well as paid ads, of course, on like Facebook and Instagram. We're going to soon be doing TikTok ads ourselves as well. But yeah, basically luckily we work for businesses that give us good material to put out organically. So that's amazing. That's a great byproduct of having a having a media agency. We kind of have content built into our system, which is great. But we've also recently been doing extra organic content, which is a little bit more value based content for for marketing people to see and enjoy and get something out of, which can obviously lead them towards our business. And hopefully they think that these people know what they're doing when they see this type of material and want to talk to us about helping them. So yeah, those pieces are more like just talking to camera and giving some tips and stuff about marketing and video and production, all that kind of fun stuff. So yeah, we've got back catalog of about 20 of those videos, and we've only just started rolling some of those out now. So really keen to get those out. So yeah, we do a good push on organic material, and we're obviously uploading to like the Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn as well. We've got our website, of course, is like a great, one of the best things you can have for a business. It just has everything on there that you need. So yeah, we have a good focus on our website, and we have a good like hero video on there, which actually we're about to update next week to include much more show reel elements and us speaking on camera and stuff like that. So yeah, I guess that's on the branding side of things and the organic content side of things. We also do a lot of outbound as well, like personally, like myself and the other guys. Like we do reach out to businesses that we want to work with and individuals that we want to work with, and strike up conversations with them, and see if we can make stuff happen through outreach. We also do virtual assistant outreach. We've literally just started doing that in 2 weeks. And the last 2 weeks for that, we're mostly just using the VA outreach for the TikTok package side of things now. And then, the rest of it's doing a good job and people talking about you to other people who are telling their friends that they need someone to help them with getting video material or marketing material or media created, and then they link us up. So honestly, a lot of it is the referrals, but we're doing as much as we're doing a lot right now, as much as we really can with the organic outreach and outbound messaging as well.
I suppose the cheapest form of marketing is word of mouth and referrals, right? If you can nail that, you can grow your business really quickly.
Yeah, especially if you're you're in with the right sort of people that have good networks themselves. That always works out really well.
Yeah, for sure. What's the plan for Last Night Media for the next, 2 to 5 years? Is there any big plans on the horizon, or is it just, get better at what you're doing currently? Can you talk us through that?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we've got a really great roadmap for where we want to be in the next 2 to 3 years. We definitely want to be at the million plus revenue point in the next 2 years, and then we think we can definitely get there. Like that, we've done our little math, and it turns out we only need like 10 or so clients on monthly retainers for that to happen. So that's great. So we're definitely aiming to get that, and that could allow us to have we've got four of us in there now, and by the time we get those sort of 10 or so reoccurring clients, we'll be able to bring our team up to about 10 or 11 people. So, and I think that'll be a very comfortable amount of people for us. Like I don't want to like I'm not trying to go to like, oh, we want to get 30 clients or four. Like I don't want to scale like that. I'd rather just focus on less clients and do better work for them than just trying to pile on the clients and just destroy ourselves like that. Yeah, so yeah, right now I guess we do a pretty interesting mix of like once-off once-off big projects for clients, where they're spending a lot of money to get that like evergreen hero material, and then we're also working for a few brands as well, doing like the monthly sort of more organic content style pieces. We would like to head a bit more towards the monthly kind of content packages, because we just feel like I just like that idea of working a lot more closely with the brands and with the people and really helping them build their brand up on a consistent basis, rather than diving in for 3 weeks and then going, all right, there's that material for you, hope it goes well, see ya. It's great to do that kind. No, it's great. It is fun though. Like you get to do some wacky projects and some fun stuff, but we really do want to help brands grow longer term, and obviously it's better for like predicting income as well. If you're on like the monthly packages, like that would just make us so much more comfortable with expanding our team really really rapidly, because you can easily punch the numbers and figure out how many team members you can support, and all that kind of stuff, rather than just predicting these once-off kind of jobs. But in saying that, like we will probably honestly continue to do a lot of the once-off work for a little while now, because it's just we do it really well, and we we don't need to jump. Yeah, we're definitely in the next 2 years going to ramp it up to about 10 or so people. That'll give the guys. I'd like to have the guys that I have now managing their own little kind of sub teams under them, and I think that would be really amazing to see them do that, and make people basically like account managers and be looking after their own clients. Like that would be amazing for us to get to, and I know we can definitely get there. I'm really looking forward to it.
Definitely, I suppose, gives your guys motivation and helps with retention in that, they could grow into a new role and be managing people and growing themselves personally, rather than, oh, this is just going to be the job that I'll be doing for the next 5 years.
Yeah, like I'm not stupid. Like I know my motivations, how I feel about working is probably very similar to how a lot of people feel about working. Like, yeah, you do want to grow rapidly as quickly as possible. You want your skills to grow as quickly as possible. You want your income to grow as quickly as possible. And, I feel like we're going to be able to let that happen for the core group of our team right now.
Yeah. One thread I want to pull just on the growth in the marketing and creative agency space. And one thing I've always thought about is, as the team gets bigger, you might get more people in to do specialized roles, and they might be doing more things over more accounts for more customers. Do you lose a little bit of, I suppose, intimacy with customers and sort of, I suppose, your ability to go deep with them when you do get a bigger team? Like, I just think if you apply this to like a traditional marketing agency, right, like digital, a lot of them, when they get large, they turn into like a cookie cutter, and they just do that across 50 accounts, and each person only spends 2 hours on each account, and they really lose that touch. Like, how do you approach that when you do go to grow?
Well, yeah, I get. Well, I can't really see how I'm going to behave in the future. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'll hopefully I can counteract that. Hopefully I'm smart enough for that. Yeah, like, well, honestly, I think, as I said, like, we're not looking to get 20 plus clients on board, because that's, I don't think, well, you know, who knows, in the future we might be interested in scaling up like that. But at least in the near future, I feel like I could honestly serve clients better by having more of those staff members helping. So then I can be a lot more of the liaison between the client and our team. Like, I will be able to do that in a very deep sense, even if we got on board, 8 more clients now. Because, honestly, right now I am still doing a lot of the grind work. So to have that freedom where I'm not doing any editing or anything like that, I feel like, yeah, that would give me more time to actually spend communicating with clients, making sure they're happy. Yeah, but I guess when you're talking about, yeah, down the line of, yes, say 15 plus clients and the teams at 12 or 13, I guess that'll all honestly just come down to managing your team really well and making sure that your team members are operating to a very high standard. Which that'll be, obviously, when you're at that level of having 15 staff, that will be the only thing you're basically doing really as a business owner, is making sure your team's operating really well and your team is very happy, and you're making sure you are getting, the right information with their, how they are communicating with their clients and constantly checking in with them. That'll just come down to team management. And luckily, well, I guess luckily I would have by then done basically every part of their job, because I had done it myself. So I can, really communicate with them and understand what they're going through. So yeah, that'll just be about, yeah, as I said, picking the right people, and working with them very closely to make sure they're happy, and just keeping those lines of communication wide open so that they feel comfortable bringing up any issues that they are having with clients, and not feeling like they have to sweep it under the rug. But yeah, hopefully when we get there, I'll have a great team that I won't even have to think about those kind of issues. Hopefully they just operate so highly, and the clients are so happy that I don't even have to think about it.
Oh, that sounds like the dream, mate. No problems in the business. I think that might be a pipe dream potentially.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens when we get there, and hopefully I'm smart enough by then to be able to tackle any sort of obstacle that hits us. But I think we're in a good spot, and everyone's learning really well now. So I feel like, when we get there, we'll be, yeah, hopefully as ready as possible to minimize the damages if things happen.
What does Last Night Media do better than anyone else in the space today? So for you to get to that, 15 clients, what are you doing now that's so great that would get you there?
I guess one thing that I notice, I guess, from talking to like a lot of other businesses, and I obviously know a lot of people that run their own video businesses and marketing businesses, because that's just how the world works. You just gravitate towards people that you doing cool things like you. We definitely, like, I think, yeah, I guess the biggest thing is we don't really operate like just order takers from the businesses or brands or clients we work with. Like, we really try to challenge them in a very nice way, their style of thinking and what they think will work. Because obviously, like, when you start in these kind of businesses, like making videos and any sort of creative business, really, you just operate as, the client says, hey, we want this. And you go, oh, okay, we can do that for you. It's going to cost this much, and it's going to take this long, and it's going to be great. And then you do it, and then they get it, and kind of that's it. But now, or not now, but for quite a while now, I've been really helping clients, like really slowing down that onboarding process and just trying to understand like what they're trying to achieve, what they're trying to do, and not just taking on board the thing that they think they want when they call you, and actually, listening to them and thinking about their business from, a fresh point of view, and offering them something that we believe will actually make a difference in their business, and not just executing on what they want. I think we do that quite well, to be honest. Like, we just really slow it all down, because like there's been so many times where we get people asking us for a particular video. Oh, we want a 2-minute video that says this and this. And you're like, why do you want that? Like, I get that you need a video. What do you mean? Like, yeah, what do you mean like a 2-minute video that's you sitting there on a chair and you're telling an about us story, like, what are you trying to achieve with this? And they could, they'll probably say something like, we want customers, we want to attract more customers. It's like, well, that's not, do you think like that's really what's going to get you that attention? Like, you should be, have you thought about doing more like a short form, rapid, you're pumping out all these different short form pieces, and, basically like that, the strategy that we were saying before. So yeah, I think, answer your question in a quicker way. We, really like to just go back to square one with every call, every customer we're on, and really try and carefully think about what they're trying to do and actually give them a solution to that we believe will actually work. And yeah, not just go, yes, that sounds great, please send us money and we'll do exactly what you want. Like, we actually care a fair bit more about their business doing well than, just getting money out of them.
Yeah, so you're actually trying to impose a little bit of your expertise and your knowledge and educate them on what you think would most likely provide results, rather than just following exactly their instructions. And because they're not the expert in putting together media and videos, it's probably not going to work the way that they thought. Is that sort of a good summary?
Yes, exactly. Like, the first idea people have for what they should do with their business is often like nowhere close to what the best idea is. So we just try and work through that with them and say, hold up, let's think about this together before, we just decide on what's going to happen already. And honestly, like, we see it happen so often. Like, so often do we get a pitch or a brief for something and we're like, this doesn't even make sense to us. Like, this will do nothing for you.
Yeah, yeah.
And I guess that takes a little tiny bit of balls to kind of say that to them. But, in the end of the day, I think the clients respect you a lot more because they know that you're caring about their business and their business doing well. And I think obviously you have to reason through it and give some logic as to why you think that. You're not just saying, no, let's do it our way. But, when we reason through with people and explain it, and then they go, oh, shit, you're right. Maybe we shouldn't just have one 3-minute video. Maybe 15-second videos will probably do a lot better for what we're trying to achieve here.
Yeah,
and
sure.
the rest.
What's a piece of advice you'd give to someone young who's starting out in this space of videography and media?
To like get clients.
So let's just
to get your
say,
skills up.
I'm a budding videographer. I've bought my camera, but I don't have any work experience. What would you say to them? All right, here's a bit of a roadmap on putting some really good content together or getting a job. Or
well, yeah, definitely. Like, you need the first thing you need obviously is a portfolio. As we said before, like, you have to have something to show that you know what you're doing. So, and it's incredibly easy to get a portfolio together. All you have to do is hit up whatever business you feel like you would like to keep working with, and or the type of industry you'd like to work in. Find that, or what you want to work in for some period, short amount of time. Find that industry, and then just email, Instagram DM, say, hey, I'm new, I'd love to make you something for free. And who is going to say no to something for free that they might use on their social media or website or whatever? So they're going to say yes. Just do that as many times as you need to until you have a decent amount of some great looking videos that you can then send to different people and say, hey, I've made this before for X client, would you like to have something like this? And they go, yes. And then they say, how much? And then you go, whatever you want. You can, you say, just make up whatever price you want. And then obviously that's your business has begun. You're getting paid to make something just like that first thing you made for free. Like, that's the easiest way to, get your skills up and get going in your media business. Just make stuff for free, put it out there, ask other people if they want something just like that stuff you made for free, and the rest is, just goes from there.
Is it worth going to uni or videography school or whatever they call it?
I didn't go, and pretty much every single, well, I guess you mean film school or whatever. So, yeah, basically every person I know that's gone to film school, I don't think I've heard one person say it was a good use of their time, to be honest. Especially if you're trying to work with clients, like, film school's irrelevant, basically, to dealing with business. Like, that teaches you how to put up a light and what is sound, and how to color grade in a dark lab, and how to work with actors and all that stuff. Like, that is, that's less than half the job of having a business related to video. So yeah, I would recommend, if you're wanting to get into the business side, even just working for an agency for free, so you can understand how they approach, or an internship or whatever, or just low pay or something, like somehow to get into an agency and just try and understand as quickly as possible how they approach pricing, negotiations, dealing with clients, how they get more work. Like, yeah, I definitely wouldn't recommend going to film school if you want to work in the video world. Just start making videos and yeah, just go from there.
I think a lot of businesses, and we'll find this happening more and more over the coming years, like having full-time content creators within those businesses, I think is going to be something that we start to see a little bit more. So it might be an idea for those young people to reach out to businesses and say, hey, I'll do some content creation for you, because that could be a good way of snaring a job too.
Yeah, you're right. That actually is, an interesting thing that's been happening lately, is see businesses trying to get the one person in there. And yeah, I could absolutely imagine, like, yeah, if maybe you make a video a week, you go in for one day or half a day for some business that you think is really cool and worthwhile. Yeah, go in there and make some content for them. And then I'm sure they would very, very quickly, when they see results, get you on at least as a part-time creator. I think that, yeah, that's actually a good way to do it.
Oh, if anyone's listening, reach out to Trent and tell him you'll make some free content for him. He might have a job for you.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Or pick up, either or.
Yeah. Wait, what are you doing? You're sending them all to
Yeah.
me instead of you.
Yeah. I just want to go back on, maybe you're saying something about you wanted to make a feature film. So let's just say in 5 years' time that your business is going really well. Do you have like an idea in mind of what you want to do, of that like dream personal project? Or
Or
is
like
that
the
under wraps?
storyline of the film.
Yeah.
As most people that are interested in making films, they have, a million different Google documents and a million different notepads with a million different ideas. Honestly, I've got a fair few that up in the air that I could do, but I think I'll wait till the moment actually comes, and then, because, who knows, in a month's time, I'll probably think of a whole different idea. So I'm kind of leaving the brain open for a little while until that happens. I've got I guess my plan is to do a short film, like quite a high production short film first, and then use that to, attract the right people to want to work on the feature length film. Because, obviously I have worked on a bunch of films before, like as a crew member, but, obviously I would like to have a really great piece. And, I've made short films as well before, but, I would like to have a very high production style short film where you could easily imagine, oh, this guy or his team can easily expand something like this out to a feature length. And just so we could use that to, attract the right actors and the right crew members to really trust my vision going into the feature film. So yeah, and I do have that short film already written, and hopefully I'll make that sometime in 2023.
Oh, there you go. Big plans. How do they fund those? Is it normally like, do you have to go out and get investors for those films? Are they self-funded? How does it work typically?
There's no way I'm gonna ask someone to give me money for my first feature film. I don't want to do that. I don't want to have those restraints. I'd probably feel like an idiot even asking, to be honest. Like, because that type of world is, yeah, incredibly competitive and very difficult to break. Yeah, I guess mostly I wouldn't want that control over me from, someone who's an investor. And honestly, like, by the time I think I will be ready to make the feature film, I will hopefully have enough money to be able to fully fund it myself anyway. And obviously the outcome of that as well, as you get 100% of the return from it when you go somewhere or you put it on Amazon and you start selling it or whatever. And then, maybe if someone after that film or a company or whatever was interested in funding the next one, obviously I'm going to say yes to that if they're a good company. But yeah, at least the first one, I think out of respect for the whole industry, I should fund it myself.
There you go. So 12 months of saving as well, by the sounds of it.
Yep. It's going to cost a lot of money, but, it's something I want to do, so I don't care.
Yeah, for sure. We might wrap up shortly, so we'll just run through a few more quick questions. What's the number one resource or online resource that you use to either, improve yourself or your business?
Yeah, YouTube. Honestly, YouTube videos. There's a great channel. I don't know if you've heard of this channel called The Future on YouTube. Have you heard of that one? the FUTUR. That's great. This guy named Chris Doe. Honestly, it's not related. He has like a creative agency that was mostly about like graphic, like logos and all that stuff, like not necessarily video, but he has some amazing videos that blew my mind. And I link them to every person that I know that every friend that wants to learn about negotiating and sales and all that stuff through the lens of like creative jobs. Because, creative jobs are a little bit tricky sometimes to quote for and negotiate with clients. And, there's a lot of wacky things that people say to like push back on your pricing. And yeah, the channel, The Future on YouTube has been really great in trying to understand, really great for me the last couple of years and in, giving you some really great tips of dealing with negotiation and sales specifically. In terms of like skills, skills like the creative skills, of course there's millions of YouTube videos out there now that teach you how to color grade, teach you how to do the camera angles. We don't, obviously we still do a bit of like upskilling in that area, but we're pretty decent with that stuff right now. So we've mostly been just learning a lot more about the business side of things and how to upskill in that. And honestly, I think that side of things for most people looking to do a video agency or whatever, I would say focus more on learning the business skills than the creative skills, because you can make a really cool video, but if no one wants to buy it off you, that sucks. And yeah, there's heaps of people out there that talk about the business side of things that I like Alex Hormozy. He's great. I can't think of any other really. Yeah, Alex Hormozy in The Future. I definitely have to say those two.
Yeah, he's all over
great
the
ones
internet
to look
at
out
the
for.
moment, isn't he?
Yeah, and there's obviously a lot of people before him that are saying very similar things, but he just obviously has a way with words where he condenses very big ideas into very short sentences, so it makes it very easily consumable, and he says it very quickly as well, so it makes it really easy to get that information in.
Yeah, he obviously has a lot of energy drinks or something, because he's just like fully charged all the time, that guy.
Yeah. No, he's great. And, he's got what does he make? Like $100 million a year or something. So I think, his advice should probably be taken seriously.
Yeah, I suppose that's one thing, taking advice. If you're gonna consume it, make sure it's from someone who's sort of got a reputable background and they've been there, done that, right? Last question, where can people find you or your company online?
Yes, so we're on everywhere. We're on the Instagram, we're on the LinkedIn, we're on the YouTubes. Our website is a great place to start. So lastnightmedia.com.au. And then on Instagram, we're just lastnight.media. Last night is all one word. Yeah, look us up, check out our stuff, follow us on the Instas. That'd be great.
On the TikToks?
On the TikToks, yeah, Last Night Media. Go follow us on everything. What is there, like 15 channels now? Just go everywhere.
All right. Well, thanks for this chat today, Trent. It's been awesome. And thank you for helping us level up.
No worries, mate. I'll chat to you very, very, very soon.
See you, mate. Thank you.